Welcome to my multi-part series on advanced patching of the Polykrell. We've talked in previous videos about using maths as our main function generator to create Krell voltages, but I also wanted to give you a look at a different module that we can use to do it that gives us more options in terms of shapes and gives us more outputs. If any of you guessed from the previous videos that we would be looking at the Quadrax, you guessed correctly. IntelliGel's Quadrax is a feature-packed digital module that's perfect for Krell and multipart Krell patching. So I've got it patched up similar to the way that I had maths patched. We're actually listening to the function output from channel 4, and channel 4 is set up as a basic repeating function generator with a rise and a fall, and then we're modulating that rise and the fall with two incoming LFO voltages that we're getting from a Vulcan modulator. And really the only thing I'm doing to those voltages is just attenuating them to gain some control over the level of modulations that it's doing to our final output Krell function. You can see that final output. It is the red trace on our scope, and that's showing us what's coming right out of this last channel of the Quadrax. Quadrax is a simple module to set up, but it does take a little bit of button pushing, and I sometimes find myself a little bit confused about how you go about setting up CV in it. So I'll give you just a quick primer on how that works in case anybody has been mystified by it, or if anybody thinks that Quadrax is too much button pushing to try and get CV set up. Quite frankly, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because my memory is so bad that I'm not good at modules that use button pushing. Luckily, it's a brilliant module. It's really easy to figure out. The simple thing to understand is that when you put it into CV mode, which you do just by long pressing one of these left-hand buttons, you get a pink flashing button, and hopefully you can see that on the screen. And whatever channel you've picked, so I picked channel 4 to do your long press on, that's the channel that you are for everything in CV mode until you change it. And you can change it by simply long pressing another channel. So now I've long pressed channel 1 and I've got a flashing pink light there, so that tells me now I'm making CV changes to channel 1. But let's go back to channel 4. So what's brilliant about Quadrax is once you're in CV mode and you're in a channel, so I'm in channel 4, you have direct access to the 4 incoming CVs, which are CV A, B, C, and D, and then you have direct access to their 4 destinations, and the destinations are going to be the rise and fall knobs, the shape knob, and then the level of the output voltage, which is an added feature that makes it a very interesting, unique module for these kind of purposes. So it's as simple as selecting the CV that you want to use just by short pressing once you're in this mode, and then the bright blue button tells you which CV input you're making changes with. And of course, when you long press on to get the pink light, you've automatically selected that CV input. So in my case, I'm set to be looking at CV D, the last CV that's coming in. So once you've picked the CV input, then you can pick where that CV goes. So in this case, I'm going to pick CV C, which is this one, and the green light here tells me that I'm sending it to fall. Rises on the top, then we've got shape, and then we've got level. And the bright green light tells me that I've got it selected at 100%. I can step through that light and it gets dimmer, which selects different percentages. And if I long press it, then I can invert it. So this is a very useful feature because it means that I can bring in a CV, like I've got coming here into C, and then I can send it not only to these 4 places on this channel, but 4 places on every other channel. So I can send any individual CV to 16 different places in multiple different levels and inverted or right side up like I've got now. So then I'm going to switch over now to CVD, which I get to just by pressing the CVD button short press. So now it's flashing bright blue, and then I've got it set to be my rise control for channel 4. So it's that simple. And then simply pressing and holding, and then you're just back to where it started. Magically, it stores everything. So you turn off your system, turn it back on, all your settings are saved. It's a great way to save on little modules like inverters and attenuators, have everything stored in it, and then pop it into your travel case and you are good to go. So that's a quick look at how we set up CVs with it. Getting back to our Krell patch, like I said earlier, we're listening to channel 4 and it's giving us our basic usual Krell style voltage. But like I had said from the beginning of this series, we can also use Quadrax to get different shapes, like some of the kind of shapes I was trying to get from maths by adding other modules to it, like VCAs and things. So I've already got one of those set up, and thanks to the magical memory of Quadrax, it is ready to go. So if I take the output from channel 4, I've basically taken the output that drives my triggers. So now I'm getting my triggers from channel 1's end of fall or end of cycle, and then I'm going to take the actual function output, which of course stops the audio, and I'm going to patch that into channel 1's out. Now channel 1 is doing something completely different, and because of that, its level output and the kinds of shapes that it's creating are also very different. So I'm going to make some quick changes to our patch just to compensate for that change in level. So I'm going to bring up the incoming gain with the VCA control like I had explained in the last video. And I'm going to reduce our resonance a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far. We are going to continue and start adding polyphony to this patch, and then some slow-moving control voltages that will start to give us some form and some function out of the whole thing so that we can create a finished piece. If you've enjoyed it so far, please consider joining my Patreon. The link is up on the end page and in the description. It helps me to make some more videos. Please take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.